The 2019 F1 season was not as bad as most of y'all probably remember. I mean, sure, Mercedes just walked away with the championship, but after their 5 straight 1-2 victories in a row, the rest of the season after that was actually pretty good. Well, okay, Abu Dhabi and France were bore fests, but the rest of the races were actually really good to watch. You know, races such as Austria, Germany, Belgium, Monza, Singapore, I know those are races that Mercedes didn't win, but they were still really good. Even the races Mercedes won, such as Mexico, America, Great Britain especially, even the races that Mercedes won, they were still good races. But I'm not here to talk about the 2019 F1 season. I'm here to talk about the F1 2019 game to see whether has it passed the test of time or not, considering the amount of hype it had when the first look trailer was released, as well as during the lockdown. So here we go. Here's F1 2019 revisited 5 years later. Well, it's not really been 5 years. I think it released around July, so 4.5 years later. Yeah, I'm pretty sure for the Canadian one, instead of Vettel, it was Lewis Hamilton. It was Lance Stroll. Now here we are in the UI. I think it's better than F1 2020. I'll just say that about the UI. Let's check out the liveries. We have the beautiful W10. This is when they first introduced the stars on the back of the car. It's not as good as the W11. I love the black livery, and I like the W09 more. But this still looks great. Now looking at the Ferrari, I can't believe they didn't win a championship. This beautiful livery. Well, the SF718 should look better. Look at how they incorporated the carbon fiber. Weight saving wasn't as much as an issue back in the day. Now looking at Red Bull, it's more or less the same, just with Aston Martin emblems. And yeah, that's about it. Now looking at Renault, they got Daniel Ricciardo's number. And fun fact, Ricciardo had as many podiums in his final season with Renault as he did with his final season in Red Bull. That's not a fun fact for Ricciardo fans. One thing I was confused, why is Infinity sponsoring Renault? Next, we have Haas. I love the Rich Energy livery. Back then, now looking at it, it looks kind of plain. This is basically a reskinned SF71H. I mean, to be fair, every Haas car in the 2010s up until 2021 were just reused Ferraris from the previous year. And only one time it worked, 2018, and the rest were all garbage. Now we have the McLaren. I feel like this is the best of all their papaya liveries because it kind of has a gradient leaning towards the back, but not really. And look, Petrobras mentioned. Brazil! This was the last year that SAP were in F1 before they returned to Mercedes. Now we have the SP Score Racing Point. It actually wasn't SP Score, it was Sport Pesa, but then gambling issues. Yeah, the 2018 to 2019 Racing Point liveries look brilliant. Well, 2018 they were called Force India. We now look at the Sauber, the Alfa Romeo. No, they were fully Alfa Romeo this year. Kimi Raikkonen returning to them after leaving them back in 2001, then going to the McLaren the following year, sorry. They were actually pretty decent this year as well as 2018, but 2019 they started falling off and now they're in this horrendous state. Next we have the Toro Rosso, the last year of Toro Rosso before they became Alpha Tauri, and now however they want to identify themselves as. To me, they're still Toro Rosso. To most people, they're probably still minority. As for Toro Rosso in 2019, however, if you guys remember that whole driver market thing, Mini Drivers made an excellent video on that. I think Kvyat should have gotten the call up to Red Bull instead of Albon, but that's just me. Next, we have the Williams. I don't know why people call this livery horrendous. I love it. I don't know why people hated it. Probably because people are so against gradients, but to me, this looks amazing. And I'm just realizing that the rear wing is fully carbon. Well, I guess Williams was the only team this season trying to weight save. So that I can complain about the handling. Which car did I use in time trial? I shall use, well, the Mercedes, because all the cars are slower. There wasn't equal performance yet in F1 2019, sorry. Now, as for the track that we're using, I'll actually save Hockenheim for the race later on. And I shall do it at, what was a good race in 2019? I guess Monaco. Monaco was good in 2019. I haven't featured Monaco on this channel at all, so. Okay, now we're here in the straight, going into Sandefjord. Handling feels alright, but there's a lot of things that is not good with the handling. And that is the tires just sliding mid-corner. Especially if you just want to throw the car in. You don't have that anymore, I think, ever since F1 2020. In the older F1 games, well, primarily F1 2015 to F1 2019, you can't really feel any downforce. Well, I wouldn't say that about F1 2018. More on that on another video. But you can't really feel any downforce, and it's just the tire gripping to the track.
What that means, you go into a corner, maybe overcook it slightly, and still having kind of, you know, the ability to kind of catch it and gather it up. The car will just do this weird slide like that across the course, and you just end up losing time and losing tyre and losing sanity. And yeah, luckily I don't seem to have seen that so far. Something like.
And I played with a controller back then with a few assists on, so I can't really comment on that back then. I didn't really feel that until now, where yeah, I can feel the tires going off mid corner. It feels super awkward. And yeah, I just had that moment right there. It feels super awkward, but I guess if you've been playing this for a long time, you can sort of control it. Again, it happened again right there. It feels like you're going to slip up, but you're really not. The rest of the handling, it seems fine, I guess. Oh, hit the wall. The brakes kind of feel weird. They feel a bit squishy, but I think that's just personal preference. I think this was the time that it was discovered that medium traction control feels more natural to real-life drivers because of Lando Norris. We saw a 12.4, which is very bad. I'm pretty sure the pole lap by Lewis Hamilton in 2019 in Monaco was a 1:10, locking up there, going into the Rosberg corner.
Unload the rear end, and then down here is the most difficult braking, or because it's downhill.
Up and went down the slip road. That meant the yellow flags came out, and Lewis Hamilton was caught in those yellow flags, and in the end had to back off, so his lap was gone as well.
Was a 1:10, around that range, so let's try and get that. Now, a lot of people were raving about the graphics when F1 2019 was first announced, like that Benjamin Daly video, but I much prefer the F1 2018 graphics. F1 2019, this looks a tad bit more cartoony. F1 2018 had more realistic lighting, but I think F1 2019 had much better rain. Oh, I did a Schumacher. Alright, one more lap. I don't think I'm getting that 1:10.1. Oh, I cut the corner. I remember seeing a video of Max playing F1 2019, and he was using the Ferrari F1 wheel, but they replaced the Ferrari emblem with the Red Bull sticker. I thought that was funny, and he took the Monaco hairpin at neutral, so maybe I should start doing that. But it's my last lap, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's a 1:10.7. I probably could beat the record, but I'm too lazy, so let's go to Hockenheim. We're going into Grand Prix mode right now. We're going to do a 5-lap race in Hockenheim, and I'm going to use the Toro Rosso and the greatest Russian of all time, Danny Kvyat. No, Mazepin is not, Kvyat is. And let's just quickly head over to Hockenheim for a 5-lap race. I think 97 is a good AI. I'm not sure how I'm going to fare here. So, yeah, here we go. Leclerc on pole. He's not going to win. Alright, so Bottas on the front row. Lewis Hamilton P3. Verstappen P4. Albon in P6. Sebastian Vettel in P5. 2019 was a terrible year for Seb, wasn't it? The Haas are this high. That's very unrealistic. Raikkonen 16. Kubica made it into Q2. Again, another unrealistic thing. And we're starting with P17. Okay. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Awaiting the drivers. And it's lights out. And away we go. I'm just going to go into rich mix immediately. Okay, off the line. Gasly got a better start, but we go around the outside of Raikkonen. Oh my gosh, it's 4 wide. I think we can do a dive bomb going into turn 2. Okay, I killed Magnussen, but he should be fine. I'm having a bit of a tussle with Kubica right now. I have the ERS set to automatic. I can't be asked to switch them around. I shifted into 8th way too early. You can see there. Up ahead, Magnussen. I think that's Stroll and Grosjean having a bit of a scrap. We can make a dive on Kubica down the inside. Flat out through this corner right here. I broke quite early, but should be alright. Right, now going into sector 3. Let me do something that will make a lot of people cry. Okay, enough playing around. Let's do this properly. My wheel is quite expensive. My wheel is quite fragile. I'm scared that I actually might have broke it. As we go through the penultimate and the final corner, Michael Jackson had a concert here in 1988 and 97. Or was it 96? I forgot. Oh, he's having a scrap with Norris. We're kissing Magnussen's rear end. I lost out too much on the final 2 corners. Oh no, that is not flat, but whatever. Alright, come on, K-Mag. Whoa. Wrong racing line there, mate. We'll have DRS now, but Honda engine versus Ferrari engine. Oh, we have Norris here. He's coming up the inside. Oh, come on. Let's do a Sebastian Vettel, shall we? No, that ended up much worse for me. I remember he got a 20-second penalty for that. Because back then, I think that was the smallest penalty you can get. F1 should really introduce a penalty called drop 1 position. I think it just makes a lot more sense than giving time penalties. Wow, Raikkonen's way behind, but I'm gaining nothing on the straights practically. Whoa. I just remembered Kvyat actually got the podium in Germany in the real life race. Man, the 2019 German Grand Prix showed that the Mercedes domination wasn't as bad as we thought. I don't think we're gonna get points here, mate, but alright, let's just there you go. Doesn't matter that it was dirty. We got ahead of Lando, that's all that matters. I was getting desperate at that point. Now I have to defend the position. Oh, screw you, Raikkonen. How do you have DRS? What? I just did a George Russell. Alright, I'm defending like a madman. That was very dirty. That was P14. I wanted points there, but I tried doing the 2012 Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris and it didn't work. Hi Toto, I'm guessing Lewis Hamilton won. No, it's Valtteri Bottas. He had porridge for breakfast. Alright, so that's the race, I guess. We had our fastest lap was actually faster than Magnussen's. Look at that, the top 3 separated by 1 second. Sebastian Vettel finishing behind Charles Leclerc. This is actually pretty realistic. Now let's check out the classic cars, shall we? And let's drive my favorite car of all time, the F2007, around my favorite track, Brazil. Kimi Raikkonen won the championship in Brazil in 2007 and had the greatest radio message of all time. I mean,
it's all over. Hamilton 7th. By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
We're gonna try and win. I do not know, well, depending on which position they put us in. And the type, I think we should just use spec. So basically, cars, I think it's the same car then. Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever, let's just start. Okay, so we're starting from P9 in the real life Brazilian Grand Prix. Raikkonen started 3rd, and Massa started on pole position, with Lewis Hamilton splitting the both of them. We all knew what happened to Hamilton in that race, so... Anyways, lined up on the grid, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. I can hear the traction control sound. Is that just automatic on this car? Anyways, we lose 3 positions in 1 corner. We're not gonna restart. We'll duke it out like men. Kaufman. We have Harrison Barnes in front of us. That was pretty easy closing up to them. Oh, sorry. Man, these older F1 cars like 2006, 2013 are really fun because they're really light and nimble with so much front end and just the right amount of power. The reason why the 2014 and 2016 cars were super hard because the rear end was very weak and it had way too much power in the engines. This to me is perfect. The 2006 to 2013 cars are literally perfect for racing. We could die here. We're driving very dirty today. No curves, no anything, no DRS. In 2007 and 8, we're just like pure racing, man. We're about to make a move on Coppens. Down the inside into turn 1. We have Gilles. That is Villeneuve's long lost son. Oh. Purple middle sector, nice. This car is really fun to play with, oh my days. Maybe make one down the inside. Didn't get the fastest lap, or we're just a 10th off. The podium is possible, you know. We have Quesadilla in front of us. We go on the grass like Alex Albon, doesn't really work. We get him down the inside nonetheless. I feel like I'm kind of driving with Alonso's really aggressive driving style here, but I mean that's appropriate for these cars. We have Aaliyah on our left hand side, on our inside, but we're gonna get her on our outside. That might have been disrespectful, I do not know. We can't get the fastest lap again, but can we get the podium from P9? I just realized this is probably wrong because we should have heavy fuel load. Because if you didn't know back then, the fuel you had in qualifying will be the fuel you have in the race. I think they stopped that in 2010. Oh, we forced him to mistake. Can we drag race to the line? Perez and Alonso style, Gasly and Hamilton style. Oh, it's gonna be really close. Yes it does. We get him to the line. We don't get fastest lap, but that's a podium, hey! And that's a podium. That's really cool. Who else is here? Nobody that exists, apparently. I didn't get the fastest lap, sadly, but I got a podium from P9 on the grid. Yeah. So, just evaluating my thoughts on F1 2019 at the end of this video. Honestly, the game, for its time, was pretty good, but now it's a bit lackluster. Unless you're playing it for the classic cars. The classic cars are really good in F1 2019. It might be the best iteration. F1 2020 probably slightly better because of the Benetton, but other than that, F1 2019 has nothing much going for it. I know that it didn't really show a lot of the handling flaws in the Monaco hot laps, and that's because it only really shows in tracks with flowy corners. So tracks like Suzuka will be a nightmare with the F1 2019 handling. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys want to see more in the comments, and we're on the road to 1,000. Can we get it before April? Because April 1's my birthday. Anyways, thanks and goodbye.